welcome to Makeup Monday. It is finally May. I feel like I've been waiting 6 months for May because the last 3 months each felt like 2. They felt so long. Maybe that's just me because I was having a rough personal time, but anyway. Today's video is going to be a review. By the time I have filmed this, because I look the same as when I filmed the last FCA, or Makeup Monday, pardon me, I will have finished this review, or this bottle, for this review of the Urban Decay All Nighter Foundation. Let's just start with some basics. It's less than $45. I believe that at Ulta I paid $42 for it off the top of my head. I'll put the proper price here and in the description below. For this was a disappointing foundation. The packaging is beautiful. This is the most ideal packaging for a foundation that I've ever had. It has a pump. It's beautiful. Because even though this is mirrored, it doesn't show fingerprints as much as because it's a silver mirror, it doesn't show fingerprints quite as much as your normal mirrored stuff. And because of how the pump is, when you use it, it actually pushes up. So as you use it, it goes up, up, up. And so you can see how much you've used from the bottom up rather than from the top down. And that makes this beautiful mosaic broken mirror design not only gorgeous but also practical. That's hard for most things to nail. It's like, well, it looks pretty, but it's inconvenient, or vice versa. So nailed the packaging, absolutely beautiful. This foundation claims to be a weightless foundation, similar. It was supposed to be the full coverage version of Urban Decay's Naked Foundation. I loved Urban Decay's Naked Foundation, and I enjoyed but was not as overjoyed with Too Faced Born This Way Foundation, which was supposed to be weightless but full coverage. This was supposed to be Urban Decay's weightless but full coverage foundation. It claims to be waterproof, long-wearing, full coverage, matte finish, oil-free. I got the color 2.5, there we go. I should have gone for the 3.0. That's my fault. That's not anything against the product. But being a mattifying foundation, or a matte foundation, one of the problems I had was even when I applied it with a wet sponge, a dry sponge, didn't matter how clean my brush was, I would always spend a lot of extra time blending down, seeing streaks or seeing spaces where the padding was. And normally that would be, well, because it's a thick, full coverage foundation. But the problem was when I have a full coverage foundation, because I've had a lot of them, because I have a lot of acne scarring, I always go for full coverage foundations. When I used the Urban Decay Naked Foundation, it was a medium light coverage, light to medium coverage, pardon me. And understanding that, I didn't have a problem using a lot of concealer for my hardcore blemishes. When I have a full coverage foundation, I'm looking for something full coverage where I need just a little bit of concealer in more intense spots. But for me, even the lightest, whatever, would need a really good thick concealer. And when I have a full coverage foundation, that's not what I'm looking for. I'm looking for this to do most of the work of covering those imperfections and then using a little bit of concealer here and there. But I always absolutely needed a concealer almost all over my face. So that was a bummer for me. It was weightless. It felt nice to wear, but it doesn't last long. It claims to be waterproof and long wearing. I work in a bar, and when you work in a bar area, in order for the beer and all that stuff to keep cold, the coolers push out hot air, and obviously I'm running around taking care of people's drinks and whatever else. This didn't hold up. My shifts are about 5 to 10 hours, depending on how long I'm working. This would need touched up after about 3. To me, that's not a long wearing foundation, considering that the Urban Decay foundation this is the Naked foundation and the Too Faced foundation. When I had the sample of the Kat Von D Lock-It foundation, they all lasted at least 5 hours. They would last through at least the bulk of my shift. So for something that claims to be all-nighter, that I could rock this for at least a full workday of 8 hours, I would have to bring a touch-up powder with me and concealer, because this wouldn't make it past the 3-hour mark. So not only did I think that it's not full coverage, it's more like a medium coverage. It was a matte finish. It did give me that, but it wasn't long wearing at all. 3 hours is average wear for foundations. And when you're spending $40 on a foundation, you expect it to last most of your work day. And it didn't. It always wore away. And so it was really disappointing. It wasn't the worst foundation ever. If this would have said that this was a longer wear foundation, if this would have said that it was medium coverage, then I would have been fine. But for its claims, they didn't hold up for me. I do live in Ohio, so I don't know if humidity and, me working in a very condensation heavy area may have broke down the foundation a little more, but it didn't work out for me. I would recommend this to people who had dry skin, who were looking for a matte foundation and had a desk job. Something where you're not running around and doing any kind of sweating of any kind. And if you have relatively clear skin, you might get more of that full coverage. I think that my next one is probably going to be either Dior Forever or, because I love going for upper, I always find that more luxurious brand foundations work out better for me than drugstore foundations. But this one just didn't hold up, especially compared to the other foundations of similar claims. Like I said, it wasn't horrific. It didn't break me out. It was just difficult to blend. Didn't last as long as it claims. And that was when I used a primer and a powder and concealer. I just feel like I should be able to have a solid coverage for a fairly long time. Even when I did that, 3 hours was the max, that it would look nice, that it would look still there without me needing to layer up more stuff. So, just wasn't feeling this one. Tell me what you guys thought of the Urban Decay All Nighter Foundation. Tell me if you just think that I was a bloop boop and didn't know how to use it. But I did try it multiple ways. I made sure to shake it before every use and all of the instructions. So there we go. I will see you for FCA Friday and next Makeup Monday. Bye-bye.